Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Super excited to have an old friend. Well, she's not old, but longtime friend, Joana Zuppas. I'm going to say
Yes.
that. You can correct me if
You
I'm
said it
wrong. All
perfectly.
right, I did it this time. She is here to talk about, I love this, a metabolism transformation challenge with Kundalini Yoga. We're going to learn
Yep.
about that, what that means, everybody wants to talk about metabolism. I know I do. And so I'm excited to hear all about it. Joana, how are you today?
Good. I'm fantastic. Beautiful day. I'm loving this weather.
Gorgeous out, I
Gorgeous.
must say. I wish I was kind of out there instead of in here. But it is beautiful to look at, and it's just so crisp and clean out there, which I love.
I
All
know.
right, so tell them a little bit about you. Before we went live, I said the audience likes to know a little bit about you, and then maybe kind of take us through the journey to Kundalini Yoga.
Absolutely. So it's really funny because I'm a real estate agent. That's my full-time job. And Kundalini Yoga, like real estate, introduced me to the Kundalini Yoga. Because as you know, in this industry, when you're starting a business and being an entrepreneur, it is really hard. And if you
So hard.
have any limiting beliefs or anything where you believe that you're not worthy or you don't feel like you can handle the capacity of running your own business, you need something to be able to push you in the right direction.
Yes.
So it's really funny, like literally real estate got me into the spiritual world because for the first year, I was like, is it supposed to be this tough? Like,
It's
how
so
am I
hard.
this hard and I'm not getting anywhere?
It's
Like,
not as glamorous as reality TV will show you.
absolutely. And I'm like, it must be me. Like, something's going on because it must be me. And I started listening to my thoughts. I started really like taking the inward dive into myself. And I really noticed how I had horrible negative thoughts and negative repetitions. And I was like, oh, no wonder I can't close business because look at these thoughts that I have in my head.
Yes.
And so I had one of my cousins, she introduced me to this teacher, and it was during COVID. And usually this teacher is in England. And so if it hadn't been for COVID, I would have never had access to her. But because of COVID, everything was online. And so I was able to do a teacher training. And I didn't even think I was ever going to teach. I just needed it for my mental stability. And I finished, it took a year to finish the course. And I just realized the more I did the yoga and the more I did the work on myself, the better my business was going and
Isn't
the
that
easier it
fascinating?
was. Yeah, it's
What do you
really
think the
fascinating.
connection is there? Do you think it's because you went, and I want to talk about the practice of Kundalini,
Yeah.
but is it because you became more aware and less stressed out so you could be more focused? Do you
I
think?
think that's definitely a part of it. The really amazing thing about Kundalini, which I love about it so much, is that it actually releases trauma and blocks from your body. So a lot of the time people go through trauma and then they suppress the trauma and it actually lives in their bodies, right? So it lives in the cells of your body. And the only way for you to kind of get it out is to notice it and to release it. And with the Kundalini Yoga, like I would be in a position and all of a sudden, like this memory would just like come out of nowhere, right? And to release it, essentially what you have to do is just sob it out, like you're crying hysterically, right? Because it's been in there for God knows how long, from childhood, and you've suppressed it or you haven't wanted to let it go. And then you're here doing the yoga and all of a sudden you're just crying because you're releasing it from your body. And if it's a belief like, you know, I'm not good enough, or like I'm not smart enough, or this is scary, like I am not capable enough, right? Then that's going to stop you from taking the steps that you need in life. A lot of the time, Kundalini Yoga works on the lower chakras so that you can release any pent up blocks so that you can then go into the higher chakras, which allows you to open your heart, open your throat, open your mind, right?
Love it.
And the third chakra is the chakra for like your willpower, your empowerment. Like if that chakra is really weak, then you feel really unmotivated in life and unable to really take the steps to go forward and take the leap and take the plunge. And I noticed when I started doing, just like my capacity to handle life increased, because it strengthens your nervous system. It balances your hormones. Like this isn't just some tutti frutti thing. Like it
I was
actually,
going to ask you,
yeah.
I want to ask you, what is so we have yoga,
Yeah.
we have goat yoga, we have, but explain the difference of Kundalini yoga.
Okay. So Kundalini is a Raj yoga, and which means that you're really working with your mind. So a lot of the time, the postures, you're going to hold a posture for an extended period of time, right? So you're holding one posture at least a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And once you get advanced, you're holding it for 11 minutes, 16 minutes. So essentially you put yourself into a trance-like state and you're really observing the mind. It's almost like a meditation, but you're in the middle of the posture while you're observing what's going on in here.
Interesting.
And all of a sudden, things just start coming out. And sometimes
we all hold them. We all hold them in, right? We all have that blockage, that thing we're holding on to, those self-limiting beliefs. We're holding it all in and pretending that we're still good.
Absolutely. And it really, to me, it really helped me become the most authentic person, because after a certain while, like having the mask is impossible. Yes. Like you can't hold it anymore. It becomes too painful. And actually the really, the emotions that are really like tough and painful to you, like you can't even hold anymore. Like I can't even hold anger for very long anymore because it's too painful to hold it. Right. So it's like, let it go, worry, stress, I feel it. And it's so heavy now that I have to let it go because it's like torture to hold on to it.
Wouldn't that be nice to have that tool in your tool belt, right?
I know, exactly.
We hold on to stuff. We keep plowing through and we don't address things. And so they just build up and they cause blockages like you talked about. And I think a lot of us could use that. But I have to ask you, how does that impact metabolism? Talk about the metabolism transformation challenge, because that's fascinating to me. I think I know what you're going to say, but I really want to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. So the beautiful thing about Kundalini is that a lot of the kriyas, so it's a exercise sets, you could say, have a focus on something. So sometimes you're focusing on the third chakra. Sometimes you're focusing on the higher chakras, like you have a pituitary gland in your brain, you have a pineal gland in your brain, and these connect you to higher states of consciousness. So it just depends on what you want to focus on. If you want to release anger, sometimes you need help on your root chakra, which means that maybe you have security issues, like you don't feel secure in life. So this one that I'm doing is for the metabolism, which really focuses on the thyroid and the parathyroid system, as well as other parts of your system. And we're focusing on also strengthening the nervous system, releasing negativity, which helps with relieving depression and anxiety, as well as balancing your moods. So this is all, there's a lot of internal stuff that has to happen so that you feel good in life. And if you're not doing that work, your default for life is going to be your negative mind. So you actually do need to put in the work to work on that positivity.
Yes, but the default is your negative. I know people like that.
Yeah. And that's just because we're wired for survival.
Yes.
So we actually have to work on not coming from this scared, fearful survival mentality and into this expansive, loving, compassionate mentality. That's an actual practice, right? The thyroid and this area is actually also the seat of self-awareness, but it can also be the seat of self-rejection and self-loathing. So think about all the women and men too that have a lot of thyroid problems. You need to take that time with yourself and say, how negative do I speak to myself, right? Like, how negative am I to my body and to my mind? And that's the kind of stuff that has to be let go.
It has to be let go. Let me ask
Yeah.
you, for a beginner like me who is afraid to bend over and tie his shoes because I'm getting to that age where everything breaks or creaks. How does can a beginner be part of the challenge? Can a beginner?
Absolutely.
Okay, so explain a little bit of the process, because the challenge, it's all virtual, correct?
It's all virtual.
Talk
Yes.
about it.
It's on Zoom. So the times are 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 8:30, and 9:30. So essentially they're 30-minute exercises. Now, Kundalini most of the time is an hour and a half. So this is meant for beginners and also people who just want to create a practice where they're getting up in the morning, they're doing something for themselves, they're helping themselves and their nervous system, and then they're going about starting their day.
Love it.
So we do the yoga for about 25 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes we'll do affirmations. So I'll put on some affirmations for people to just lay down and soak it in so that they can begin the day with the right mindset. And you won't believe how that affects the rest of your day. Like, it has a ripple effect.
Yes.
And so it's 30 minutes. The postures are not very long, but also it's meant to be a little bit challenging. If your nervous system is completely out of whack, then it is going to be a little bit challenging because you have to push yourself, right? And push yourself out of those comfort zones that your body has created. And that's okay. You just do as much as you can for as long as you can, and then you build yourself up.
I love that. And I think the whole concept of yoga being introspective and really trying to address the things that we don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a great way for you to really get in touch with what's really driving you, what's your motivation, what's blocking you. Just that peace of mind and that focus on the mind. Really, it's just meditation. It's whatever you believe in. But this is a great way, and a studied way, like Joanna has said, that you can release a lot of that stuff. And so I love it. All right. So tell them how they sign up. How do we reach you? How do we begin? I know the challenge has already started, but you said people can still join.
Yes. So there's 12 days and 21 days available. So the practice hopefully is that you want to come every morning for 12 straight days and, start that process of showing up for yourself. And you can just reach me at my Facebook, Joana Zuppas. You can message me. The flyer is on my Facebook page. And yeah, that's probably the easiest way to reach out to me.
I love it. I think it's so awesome. I love what you're doing. I think we all could use this. And if
we all could use this,
we all can. And so if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't have an issue with my metabolism, there's really a deeper root to this than just metabolism. And you'll be impacting your body, mind, soul, spirit on many levels that you probably hadn't thought about. So I'm a big believer in being this, what did you say? Show up for yourself. I love that.
Show up for yourself. Even if you can't do all the postures, just getting up and showing up for yourself creates a habit.
I love it.
That a prosperity habit, right?
Yes.
So
instead of let's not come from a lack perspective. Let's come from
exactly.
an abundance and prosperity perspective. What a joy to have you on the show. I love it. I want you all to go out and find Joanna on Facebook. I will put her link to Facebook. I'll tag her and you can go to her page, sign up for the Metabolism Transformation Challenge, learn more about Kundalini Yoga, and get right with yourself in 2024. All right. What a joy to have you on, Joanna. Thank you so much. You all get out and about. You know what? This is so important. Show up for yourself. I promise you're going to love it. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Joanna.